What's going on? Motor City Sports Talk. Filling in with a football video for another football-less Sunday. But those days or Sundays are starting to get numbered. We're getting closer to preseason, eventually closer to regular season as we approach training camp. And talk about Frank Ragnow, famously known on this channel as Frank Who Gives a Fuck, when he got picked. Because I was angry about the pick, but I like the pick after I seen the second pick. Okay, but the question is, will Frank Ragnow be a guard or will he be a center? We talked about earlier in the off season. Did it really matter if Frank Ragnow was a guard or center earlier in camp? They made him a guard and had Graham Glasgow working as a center, and obviously some fans did freak out, but we'll see. I believe that eventually he will be the center, unless Graham Glasgow just performs, so greatly at the center position. But I figured if Glasgow was so great as a center, why was Travis Swanson playing the center? Maybe because Travis Swanson didn't have the ability to play guard as well, But I figured that, Ragnow will take over the center position and probably will start at center. It's a very, very, big responsible position, with all the line audibles and, having that rapport with Matthew Stafford. I think the kid is smart enough, and maybe they just want to start him at guard and just give him a feel, get his feet wet. But when the pass come on, I think he can separate himself, in the battle with Graham Glasgow, even if it's a battle. But I think it's better. I think it's better, sir, to get him start him off for center. And I'll tell you why. He's going to make some hiccups. He's going to make some mistakes. I do understand that he will make some hiccups and some mistakes, But I think you don't want him to pretty much get babysitted at the guard center and get used to playing guard. If you want him to be the center of your for your franchise, you want to start him off at center. You're gonna take the hiccups. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna take a little bit of the bad that's gonna happen in some of the rookie mistakes, especially early on in training camp, early on in preseason. But you're gonna look for him not to keep repeating those same mistakes. And if he continues to correct those mistakes, he continues to get better, then he stays at center. Now if he's not showing any improvement, you slide him to guard. But I think it's fitting for Frank Ragnow to take over the center position. You leave Glasgow at guard. He's been playing the guard the last couple of years, and let Frank Ragnow figure it out at center. I think that's the smartest thing to do for the Lions. And if he keep making a lot of mistakes, then if he can't correct them, he keep making the same mistakes, then you switch him back over to guard. But for now, I think they should just let him roll at center. It's kind of like what they do with most of the first-round quarterbacks and the first overall quarterbacks. Let them throw right into the fire. And the quicker, he learns the position, the better off he is. Because if you leave him, you play him at guard, and he get comfortable at guard, and he switch him to center, then he got to learn a whole nother position for what? And then once he becomes a center, he's a center forever. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to switch him back to guard unless you have to. So I say, just teach him, teach him his craft at his correct position, and let it roll. Give this line some stability. Don't keep making this line have instability. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that was last year was Greg Robinson starting at left tackle because Eric Decker was injured. Then you had Travis Swanson playing terrible. You had Rick Wagner playing terrible because T.J. Lang was injured. You probably had T.J. Lang playing injured because they all had the slide protection towards Greg Robinson. Let's get some stability. Let's get these guys in their permanent positions. You know what I'm saying? Let's get Ragnow used to being the center and being the future center and being the center of now, and get him playing the center. Don't try to confuse this guy. Don't confuse the line, because eventually, if at some point in this season, or in the future, you want to switch, Glasgow back to left guard, you want to switch Ragnow to center. Why even play with the chemistry? Let's build this chemistry now. Let's make Ragnow. If you feel Ragnow, you draft him as a center. Let him play the center position. We're going to go through the hiccups and the bumps, because you're going to go through the hiccups and the bumps in the guard position, even though I feel, and everybody knows, the center position is more important. But right now, let's get these guys in their proper positions, man. Let's get the line how you want it in the future, how you want it in the future so you want it right now. Just make it right now. You know, let's get Ragnow playing the guard. Let's get Glasgow playing the left guard. Let's get Taylor Decker playing the left tackle. Let's get TJ Lane playing the right guard. And let's get Rick Wagner playing the right tackle. Let's get these dudes in their right position. There's no more time for shuffling the line. You know what? You feel me? No more time for shuffling it. We've been shuffling for the last couple years. Let's get everybody in their correct position. Let's form the camaraderie. Let's form, Ragnow getting used to calling the line audibles. Let's make him the leader. Let's make him the young leader of that offensive line. And the veterans can help him move forward. That's what time it is. You know, that's what time. No more, mixing and shuffling. Lions always want to get in their way. You know, let's make it happen right now. And if he ain't good enough to play center right now, then why did you draft him? You know, why did you draft a guy that couldn't come in and assume the responsibilities as playing the center? And that sounds like some SOL stuff, So same old Lions. But hopefully that's not the point. Now, if Glasgow was your center of the future, then you should have drafted the guard from Georgia. You know what I'm saying? If you was looking for a guard. If you knew Glasgow was going to play center the whole time, you should have drafted a guard, But Frank Ragnow most definitely should start at center day one. Period. He was a first-round draft pick. You took him over some other guys, some other offensive linemen, some other guards, some other centers, right now. Because Willie Fernandez, if you needed a guard, I think he was still there. You could have took Willie Fernandez or moved up for him if you really needed a guard that way. Or you could have took the guard from Georgia. So the Lions can't continuously get in their own way. Excuse me, they can't do that, man. They got to go ahead and make it happen right now. You know what I'm saying? They got to go ahead and let this guy play center, learn. He gonna have the hiccups earlier in camp. He gonna have the hiccups in the preseason. He gonna have some hiccups in the regular season. By the time the 8th week come, he should be pretty much good and not be making the same mistakes, man. So that's how I feel about it, man. Glasgow should go to guard. Taylor Decker, who's one of the most fantastic young left tackles in the game, he should be healthy, 100% healthy with his shoulder injury. Right tackle should be Rick Wagner. Right guard should be TJ Lane. Frank Ragnow should be the center. And if Rick Wagner is having another shitty year at right tackle, whatever it may be, you can go ahead and throw in the kid from Oregon we got. The right tackle from Oregon. Go ahead and throw him in and be prepared to cut Rick Wagner next year. But don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All those links are in the description or usernames. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and also share. Most definitely appreciate it. We gone.